Hi everybody, this is Daya. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to make an sculpture tool. This kind of tool usually we call loop tools. Let me give a closer look at it. This is the tool. We're going to make a similar to this. Let me give a closer look here. This is the one end of the tool. Still some oil-based clay left over on top of the tool, and this is the other side. Usually loop tools have two sides. Either side has a different shape of the loops, and this is another tool. This time you'll see some different thickness and different shape of the loops. Let me give a breakdown of this tool. I use two wires, iron wires, steel wires, and some stick as a handle of the tool. And it is really easy to make this kind of a tool. Actually, these kind of tools are available in art supply stores and online, eBay, Amazon. They have a branded really good tools, but they are very generic. But if you're working with a specific kind of a sculpture, especially oil-based clay sculptures, you might need a kind of a specific loop, different shape, different tip of the tools. So then generic tools won't work. I think I had that experience. I'm working with the portrait sculpture with oil-based clay, and I have all those generic tools, but didn't work out. So I thought of making my own tool and do the sculpture as I wanted. So I came up with this kind of idea. So I thought of sharing with other people who likes to make their own sculpture tools. Usually oil-based sculptures has fine detail on the surface. For example, if you are making a portrait, you need to make wrinkles, hairlines, and tiny little skin textures. To get a realistic look, you need a specific tool. So I think this kind of a tool work for that kind of a conditions. So we'll start from the beginning. Let me introduce the tools I'm going to use for this entire project. This is my drill, and I'm using a specific size of drill bit for this case. Let me give a closer look. Very tiny, very thin drill bit. First you have to mesh with the stick you're going to use as a handle. So this diameter comparison, I think this drill bit is perfectly matched, because we're gonna make a hole inside the drill, inside this stick. So this diameter perfectly match. So this is good. And let me introduce the other tools. This is the pointed plier, and this is the wire cutter. This is a box cutter, and these are iron rods. I will explain in detail later on to what purpose we're going to use this for. I'm using chopsticks as handle of the tool. There comes with different brand and different sizes, different qualities. You can find these chopstick in any dollar store. They have different brands. If you're thinking your tool has to be more fancy, you can find this one, and this is really strong too, and polish and good feeling when you touch this one. This is free giveaways from restaurant. It's not strong enough than the other one, so you can pick whatever you want. But I should mention one thing: when you're working with the oil-based clay, your tool has to be really strong, because oil-based is a little harder than the water-based clay. So tool has to be more durable and more strong. So I picked this one to make the tool. And this is the other thing we need, the super glue. You can find same thing in a dollar store. It comes with different brands, but the generic name is super glue. This is good because fast drying and fast hardening glue, and when you are using you have to be very careful with the fingers because it's a little harsh smell, so stay away from inhaling. So, and this is the most important part of the tool, iron hooks. You can find the same thing, you can find this in dollar store. There comes with bunches, different sizes, different shapes, and thickness and gauge always varies based on the size. And I'm using 3 different sizes. End of the day we're gonna straighten this up and get our shape. And this is sandpaper. We're gonna use this for shape up the tool end of the project. And this is the stick grinder we might use to sharpen the tip of the tool. And this is our iron blade and cutting blade. So those are the tools I'm going to use for entire project. So we'll do step by step how to make this tool and get the final look like this. Okay, I'm gonna do the first step of making tool. I'm using a box cutter for this time. I picked this stick as the handle of the tool. First we have to get rid of 2 edges of this stick, so I'm gonna cut from here. I'm gonna draw a line, very deep line, and I'm gonna do like this and gonna break. And other side you can have more comfortable length, depends on the hand size, depend on the project. So I'm getting this size of tool, getting rid of the other edge, draw a line, and yeah, I'm done. Okay, so you can get a sharp cut both edges, both ends. And I'm going to use sandpaper to sharpen the edges, even out the edges. Like this, so it looks nice. See, it goes a look, because we're gonna make a hole in the middle of this stick, so it has to be even, the surface has to be even. Again, I'm gonna do little fine adjustments like this. Okay, I'm done. So now next step is making holes, so I'm gonna leave that aside. Now I'm trying to make my loops. So I'm pick one of the hook and try to straighten up like this. I use plier, so otherwise gonna get hurt, otherwise gonna hurt my fingers, otherwise gonna get hurt, otherwise I'm gonna get hurt. Okay, I'm gonna straighten out like this, this, and I'm getting rid of this edge. We don't want that part, and I use cutter. Okay, it's done. Now I'm do some work on this a little bit. I'm gonna straighten up a little bit. Okay, it's done. Now I'm gonna have 2 actually. Both end has to have 2 loops. This time I'm using a little thicker hook, a little stronger than the other one. So I'm gonna again straighten this out. Okay, like this, and again I'm use the cutter, get rid of the unnecessary part. Okay, this is the time I'm gonna explain the rods I had before, these kind of rods, to what purpose I'm gonna have it. These are the helpers to get the loop shape like this. You can wrap around this rod and it gives a unique shape. Actually, that's all based on the project you are working with. If you are thinking of making the kind of textures, you need fine sharp edges, so you can use this kind of Allen key to get a fine sharp edges. And if you are thinking of round loops, small loops, you can use this kind of a small nail and wrap around that nail. Or if you're thinking of a little bigger than this, you can use this. That's totally up to you. Pick a shape and find a rod. It helps you to get perfect shape. If you are thinking using a unique abstract shape or kind of a very sharp edge, you can use pointed plier. So I'm using this plier to get the basic shape like this. Making this steel wire is little hard. It's better to have this kind of thick hard wires when you're working with oil clay, then it's easy to work with. I'm going to use this tool, put it inside, wrap around, and the plier, and I'm going to tighten the bottom of the both ends like this. Okay, now you can see I got a perfect shape. Oh, I'm gonna get rid of this one. If you closer look at this, see you get perfect round shape. Okay, now I'm using a cutter again, get rid of the other edge, and your tools, the loop gonna be like this. This is the first loop. It's gonna be in one end, and we'll make the other one. Now keep it inside and take my other straighten iron wire, and this time I'm using this Allen key. I can wrap around. Okay, closer look. Okay, this might be enough. So you see, little different than the previous one. You can work more and get the exact shape. This is just only for the demonstration. Okay, then this is done too. Oh, I'm leave that side. Yeah, let me fix these two loops into my rods, and we'll see how to do that. Okay, now I'm getting ready to make two holes on either side of the rod, either side of the stick. Okay, I have a stick and I have two loops. This is the drill I'm gonna use, and I have fixed the drill bit and tighten. As a safety note, I like to mention, be careful working with these kind of tools. It can hurt your fingers, so be extra careful with this tool. And because we are closely working with this edge, so it can slip and hurt your fingers. So I'm gonna make a hole on here. Okay. I'm gonna hold this and make a hole like this. Take your time and get the perfect and try to make a hole in the center of the tool like this. Okay, I came back after making holes. This is the one end and this is the other end. You have to be very careful when you're making holes, because if you make one mistake, it will ruin your stick. So I took a little time to make this hole. Careful with the speed of the drill. If you go slow, you can make a perfect hole like this. So perfectly done both sides. So now second step is putting these loops, extended edges inside these loops like this, and the other one, other end like this. You can use plier and make little adjustments like the size of the loop like this. If you think this is too much extended edge, you can take it out, cut this end. If you can make a deeper hole, you can put inside all the way in, but this time I made average size hole. So this is the final look of one edge and this is the other edge. So it came out really good. Now the last step is I put some glue inside these holes to make this permanently fixed to the stick. So I'm going to use my super glue. Take this out and put one drop on each side like this. Very careful when you work with the super glue, it will touch your skin got damaged. And here again I put another drop like this, put some more, it go inside the hole and fix the metal to the wood, and put some more at the end until it's get filled. Okay, now almost done. We are ready to work with the sculpture. I think it's better to keep this little wire to get dry. Leave it here, close the lid. Okay. We are done. So this is our loop tools. You can experiment with different shapes, different loops, different thickness of the iron or steel wire. You can go with very small, very tiny loops. If you are working with really fine edges, fine, very detailed sculpture, definitely you need very sharp edges loop tools. Okay, it's got dry and permanently fixed to the stick. Now it's good to work with. This is my oil-based clay. Let's see how does it work with the clay. see, it's perfectly work. Since this is a round loop tool, you get a round outfit. See what kind of a shape you're gonna get, all based on the loop size and the shape. If you are using this other edge, you get more deep and different shapes. See, you can do more creative stuff based on your skills. You can experiment with the different shapes like I did. I use abstract little sharp edge. It gives a different feeling. See, always try to do experiment with the loop tools and try to make your own shape based on your project. And thank you for watching my training video. You can comment on this and give some new thoughts, criticism. I always welcome everything. Thank you.